Now this is Hollywood Unlocked. Yo, it's Hollywood Unlocked Uncensored. I'm Jason Lee.
I'm Melissa Ford, a.k.a. the Curve Queen.
Yep, it's DJ Damage.
And somehow we got Remy in the building.
Hey.
I know, we've been waiting for
Somehow?
this.
We've been waiting.
Why would you start off with somehow?
Because I don't-
As if I had not told you from day one that I was
You
gonna
have.
do it.
You have. I say somehow because we only shoot once a week. And so between shooting once a week, moving all around, you're busy, us back and forth to New York, we finally got you. And you're an important part. Like, you've been an important conversation we've wanted to have.
All right, somehow. I'm just ignore the 10 million texts we have back and forth. Okay.
No,
somehow.
not somehow as in
I
you
just
didn't
happened
want
to
to.
fall down on this block,
No.
up the elevator.
We just
and
caught
this
you down the
chair.
street at Starbucks. No, but I mean, like, you're
I know
an
what you
you're an
mean. I'm
important
messing with
part of
you.
hip hop.
Thank you.
You've been a really this has been an organic process because, you know, like, for a lot of people, especially in this city, it's very transactional. So I don't ever know what's real or what's not. But this has been a very organic, real process, and you know, we have a lot of respect for you. So I'm glad that you made
Thank
it.
you. I'm glad that you guys can have me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're here in Los Angeles. We could say what you were here for.
Yeah, I was here for the Revolt Summit. I work with Revolt on State of the Culture. And I also, besides doing that, I just started my own podcast called Real Talk with Remy. So I stayed longer than everyone else because I was taping that. And I happened to have the honor, it wasn't a somehow. I had the honor of, interviewing you as one of my guests, which was one of my favorites this weekend.
That was
I
fun.
did. It was very fun.
Can you tell us who else you had on as a guest?
Well, I had him and I had Angelica from the Shade Room.
Angie.
They were on the same topic. I also had Eric Bellinger and his wife
Lamaya.
Lamaya was.
Nice.
They
Yeah.
were, but I brought my husband on that episode. We were
So it was
talking
a couples.
We were talking a lot of couples, marriage, black love. I think that was interesting. I did Al Harrington and Van Lathan
Nice.
together, and it was so powerful. I cannot wait for people to hear the episode. We talked a lot about prescription drugs and the opioid epidemic that's going on right now. And
I heard it got personal.
very. So far, I did six pods this weekend, and
you was working.
Yeah,
You
out
were
of two of them, I got two of them left in tears. So I say 2 tears out of 6. I was like, whoa, I gotta prepare for this. I'm not like a
Did
person
Jason
you
make
cry
you
around.
cry?
No.
Jason-
Was it Jason?
No, it wasn't Jason. I wasn't crying. I didn't cry.
There were no tears, but I will tell you. So when Remy texted me and she said, I want you to come on my podcast, I said, okay, cool. She said, it's called Real with Remy. I go, I've seen her on State of the Culture. I know Remy Ma. I'm like, okay, who else on there? And they said, well, Angie from the Shade Room. So me and Angie, I texted her and said, we got to get on a call. We get on a conference call. We like, all right. So she's like, do you know what we're walking into? I'm like, no, but Remy don't do the stunt. She's not with the whole stunt shit. So whatever it is, it's going to be real.
Yeah.
You know, I've never done an interview with another person who owns a platform.
Wow.
Never.
First time.
What? Because that could go left.
It definitely. Well, I mean, in my opinion, she was kind of stunning you a little bit, like
A little bit.
She was pulling rank, like, well, we are the Shade Room. You know what's going on. Jason, you know where you fit in the scheme of things. Jason was like, not yet. Like, he was holding his
That's
ground.
okay. She
But
gonna
I
ride
think-
around in L.A. and listen to this playing in
I
her car
think-
as everybody else will across the
I
country.
think
So
it
God
was,
bless her.
It was very informative.
Yeah.
After you left, we were actually talking about just different black media platforms and how we have the power to turn them into bigger platforms than they are, and instead of trying to validate ourselves as celebrities and whatever's going on at other stations and people, with the 3 letters that people always run over to and act like everything they say is gold. So I was like, imagine if every celebrity was like they're only giving the exclusives to like the Shade Room or Hollywood Unlocked
Ball
something
Alert,
like that,
yeah.
or Ball Alert.
Yeah.
It would definitely change the narrative of who's credible and who's validated, and it was on so and so, so I know it's true. So yeah, we had a long talk about that afterward, and we're gonna talk again.
But no, but it's good that you're doing that because we're all talking. We're all talking about controlling the narrative and taking back. I did this whole Black Brands Matter thing when I, went on a tirade against NAACP and TV One because of how they treat black journalists. And I said, it's interesting because I never have done a red carpet because I just would not handle rejection well. If somebody walked past me, I would call them out right there.
Now I feel some type of way. So, bitch, you just gonna walk by? You don't see me standing here with my microphone?
I would.
You would.
There was a minute where I said to
So I
my,
would.
there's
You
a minute,
would.
there's a, bitch, you see me standing? I came all the way out
So
today.
you think I'm just standing here with a microphone for nothing? That's what you think?
So I never did I've never done a red carpet. Like, I can't.
I wouldn't recommend it.
No, I don't have the temperament.
Because then you gonna run into somebody like, yeah, bitch, I walk past you. That's why. Now what we doing? What happens then? That's a fight on the red carpet. That's the black carpet.
Now that's a story.
But
Right.
how has that transition been from being an artist now being on the media side? Because you're usually the one always being interviewed and coming in to talk to people.
I think, in my personal opinion, I think good artists who are articulate, who are not the typical artists that people think, because let me say, because it's the whack ones. I think whack artists, they're not really smart, but the good ones, they're usually articulate. They're usually very smart. They're witty. They're funny, and we've been asked questions our whole career, so we know which ones people are tired of hearing, which ones that kind of get to where you're trying to get to, because when you go in there, be like, God, I hope they don't ask me about this and this and that. Or I hope I don't have to answer this question for the millionth time. So normally, in my opinion, if you're a good artist and you make that crossover, they usually make really good journalists or media outlets because they
You're
have
trained.
experience.
Yeah.
On site experience from being, you don't know how many times especially on a radio run and you're doing radio after radio interview and you get this. So how is it being a new mom? So how you and Papoose have black love? Like, I don't want to. You Googled me and you saw the answer to that. So why are you asking me that again?
Just in
I
case
don't
everybody
understand.
can hear, we have your namesake in
Yes,
the building.
my
with us.
baby's in the background.
Yes, and your husband is
and my
here.
husband is there too.
Yeah.
We're testing nannies right now.
That's interesting.
It's
I
a
watch
process.
I watch one of my best friends go through that, and she is just not with the shit.
She's not jacking her.
Yeah.
Like, at all. Period. I feel bad because she's trying so hard. She be sweating, breathing hard, and my daughter's just like, no, I don't want you. Who are you? Where'd you come from, lady?
Aw.
But it's one thing when you're an artist and you've done a lot of interviews. I will tell you the one downside to having this show. I mean, syndication's great. We're everywhere now, and we're getting great conversations. But like that radio run thing, the fear I have is they've already had this conversation 1,000 times. So trying to figure out what we want to talk about, which is why when we did this show, I said, look, I'm not a librarian of hip hop, but I love people, so I'm going to just try to figure out who the person is and follow, whatever they want to talk about.
Well, it's easier now because now the consumer, they don't want to just hear about your music anyway or your movie or whatever it is you're promoting, depending on the type of artist or celebrity that you are. They want to know about the intimate details. They want to know, why is your baby in the studio crying in the background? Oh, because she's trying out a nanny, the nanny's downstairs and your daughter don't like her. Like, they want to hear these things as opposed to, I'm
Damn,
still
that
working on
nanny
my-
might be listening now too.
She knows she don't like her. She's
I mean, the
okay.
nanny ain't do nothing wrong. This baby don't
it's
like
not
her.
It's she's 10 months and she's only been with mommy and daddy her whole life. I definitely feel breastfeeding plays a part, and she's super, super attached to me. And she does it sometimes with her dad, and he's like, "Oh, like, really? You don't want me now? Then I'll come over there. She'll come to me, but still be smiling at him." And he's like, "Nah, we're not cool no more." Like,
But
That's a real
going
thing.
from being an artist who's media trained and knows how to handle the media to getting on a platform like State of the Culture where you're actually saying what you think and feel, that's very different because
Especially about other artists, too, and
yeah,
other
that part.
I'm gonna
people.
tell you, yeah and no, because even though I come from an era where it was mandatory as an artist, you had to have media training. You had they sent you through artist development and things of that nature. But I've always said how I felt and spoke how I wanted to speak, because I never wanted to be that artist that's like, all right, I'm going to hear Hollywood Unlocked, Jason and Damage, and listen, let me turn into Remy Ma. Like, no, because you're going to catch me on an off day and it's going to be all bad. I'm like, damn, she wasn't like that. No, I want to always be as authentic to myself as I possibly can. And as an artist, when you say how you feel, it's not because the fans deserve it. It's just that's just because how you feel. Some people are afraid to say how they really feel because we live in this quote unquote cancel culture, the phrase of the year. So if you say the wrong thing, then so they try to put on this image to make it seem like one thing, but I don't feel like you deserve anything. All you deserve is, if I'm doing music, that's all you deserve is the music that I'm giving. If you pay for an album, that's all you deserve to get. If you're coming to watch me on State of the Culture, all you deserve is whatever I'm giving you on that topic. I don't owe anybody anything. Show me in black and white where you was like, if you ever see me in person, I owe you pictures to take with you. Because I tell people no on pictures all the time. No, I'm in Target right now, and I am focused on filling up 2 carts. I'm not taking no pictures right now.
But between the deodorant and toothpaste, you could take a picture.
I don't have to though.
But
I don't have to. No, I don't feel obligated. No.
That's amazing because a lot of people do feel obligated, and they're catching you at a time where it's just like, I don't want to be who you expect me to be. You know what I'm saying?
This is not what I want to do right now.
But
I'm in Target. Now, if we're backstage, or we're at the Revolt Summit, or you just happen, we could be in the airport and I'm in a good mood, then fine. But if I'm not, if I look crazy, my hair's not done, my makeup's not done, my lips is cracking, I have on slippers. Well, I'm from the Bronx. You know, we're known to have on pajamas and a pair of Jordans.
You are not going to Target like that.
I do. Are you dumb? You never see me in Target. That's why.
You pull up with slippers.
I be having on my Jordans.
You be feeling good.
My
pajama
pants,
yeah,
and my t-shirt. And I may or may not have a wig on. I have hair, so I'm not really pressed about it. But I may or may not have and that's it. I'm not one of those people. I don't ever, like I said, I don't ever want to feel like, okay, I'm going to Target. Makeup artist, can you come over? Hair person, can you come over? Let me look at my closet to go to Target. I'm not doing I can't get into my Target bag dressed like that.
I was talking to some people at the summer trying to give them some information on how to network, and I'm like, do you want the picture or you want the conversation? Like, you gotta pick one. I'm like, you gotta pick one. Like, don't be walking up with your camera because everybody's not ready to take pictures all day.
Well, I had somebody today say, she said, I'm a huge fan. Can I have a hug? And I said, no, I don't hug.
But that's
hug.
intimate.
Well, no, I just think somebody gonna put me in a headlock. I'm gonna be fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want
paranoid.
I don't do hugs.
That's just dirty too. Like, some people, people be having skin diseases, all type of weird stuff. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've had someone get offended before because they see me and they want to shake my hand. But I'm with my child or whatever. I have to touch my daughter. I'm not touching your hand. Like, I'll be around my husband all day. I know where hands be.
Well, and you got a little kid too.
His pants, my pants, all type of shit. Like, shake my hand. Like, no. Get out of here. I'm not with it.
Wait, so with State of the Culture, have you gotten into trouble for anything you've said yet?
It depends what you consider getting. Sure, have I gotten arrested? No. That's what I consider getting into trouble. No. But I've definitely made the headlines. Oh, Remy says she supports this, or Remy does this, or Remy feels like. But most of the time, they're dead ass wrong because they'll take one little snippet,
piece of the clip,
and I can tell they didn't listen to the whole conversation or the whole show, and they take what they want. But there's some people that they just feel like you can't feel a certain way. I don't feel that's how you feel. If that's how you feel about that situation, then fine. You can't tell me how to feel about any particular instance or situation. That's how I felt. I'm not telling you that's what you should do. I get a lot of flack because they feel like I always take the guy's side in, whatever situation it is.
Yeah, that's one of the last things that I saw from State of the Culture was you going head to head with Ebony. It was about snitching.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
And you literally looked like you wanted to say, you're a fucking idiot. Like, that's...
Yeah, that's how I felt. I felt not that she's an idiot because she's very intelligent.
Yes, she is.
Very smart.
But
yes.
what I felt was, because she was explaining... After we talked again, because you have to keep in mind, State of Culture is super edited. We sit there for 4 hours talking. You guys get about an hour show. Yes, we sit there a long time. And they edit it. So what Ebony was pretty much saying about snitching is that it happens. Her being a lawyer, you'll be surprised how much people really do it. And me having people that I know that work in law enforcement, I know a lot of people do it. It's actually how some people in the streets, they make a living off of snitching. You can get paid money off of snitching.
Yeah.
So when she was telling them, she was like, I'm just telling people, like, if you're going to do it, once you get to that point, there's a way to do it and there's a way to go about it. And I just feel, and it has nothing to do about me being street or hood or ghetto or anything else. It's about morals and principles. If you're involved in a crime with someone else, and what makes your freedom or your life or anything more valuable to where you can go in and say, okay, I'll tell you this about person A, B, and C that you guys are not even, don't even have here in custody. And in exchange for that, forgive all my crimes that I did and take them instead. To me, that's crazy. One, it's a joke, and it shows how much of a joke the justice system is, because you can commit as many crimes as you want as long as you're giving them the people they want or more people that they feel are more important than you. You will be exempt from those crimes or excused of those crimes and let off with lesser time or no time at all, and someone else will in turn, suffer the consequences as long as you're testifying against them. And also I feel like it sets a precedent to where it's not teaching these kids to say, hey, she's saying like, yeah, it's teaching them, hell, you don't want to go in jail. You don't have to deal with this.
Like,
don't
this
do
is
the
the new
crime.
law, yeah.
No, I feel like it's teaching them, I could go out here, I
Do
could
whatever I
be
want.
involved in organized crime, pay for guns,
And get out of jail free card.
And then when they catch me,
This is how to
send
do it.
everybody else in and I'm going to still be good. To me, that's what it seems like it's teaching
But
them.
this is what I loved about. I could not wait when I saw them post it. We could not wait to post it on Hollywood Unlocked because I go all the way back to where I come from, and my brother who passed away, whose story you see on Love and Hip Hop this season. I remember when I said, I really want to be like you. I want the cars. I want the money. I don't want the girls. I want everything else. He said, okay, cool, go sell dope. And he gave me an 8-ball, and I went to go. He gave me an 8-ball and a gun, and I went to go sell dope.
He lost the 8-ball.
It was hard,
shot
wasn't it?
himself.
It was hard, wasn't
that
it?
workout.
I'm negotiating with the crackhead. They like,
don't
I'm gonna bring it
negotiate
back.
with
I'm like, okay,
crackheads.
bring it back. You know,
It's rule number
fucked
one.
off all the work. Called them like, yo, come get me. The police chased me. I got asthma. I realized it wasn't for me.
It's hard.
What?
Yeah, they make it seem easy,
There's
right?
mathematics. There's all types of shit.
everything.
Scientific.
Environment, time of the day.
But
You
I
gotta
realized,
work it,
but I
whip it,
realized,
working with.
but I realized this is not for me.
Bruh.
I'm with all the shit, but I don't want to go to prison behind some shit that I shouldn't be
Right.
doing anyway. And he put me in school. But I say all that to say, I feel like nowadays people just want to get to the success of where you are or where we are or whatever
Without putting in the work.
without putting in the work, and they want the fast
Nobody.
way, but don't want the consequences. And now I feel
Absolutely.
like with 6ix9ine, I feel like now, like the conversation I'm hearing is just so crazy. It is not where I come from. It is not the code that people I know live by.
But it's the code that you'll be surprised how many people live by those codes, and it's crazy.
Still today?
Still today. Mostly, it's. I used to think, I used to catch myself saying, it's this new generation or these new people that I thought, if you would have asked me maybe 6 months ago, was the realest dudes, realest chicks that I've ever met. They would never are doing some of the most
Janky ass
boy, clown ass, disloyal, snitch, rat, weird, wacky. Like I could name so many different movements because the era that we're in accepts anything. Everybody has a lane. Well, I would do it too. They were sleeping with his baby mother. Or I would do it
Yeah, all
too
these
because they was
excuses.
extorting his money.
For
Like
him.
there's an excuse for everything, and people tend to excuse anything that they feel is that they can't live up to. Anything that they feel they can't live up to. The reason why I feel like we got such a low level entry of rappers and rap music now, because it's hard to do what the Jay-Z's and the Lil Waynes and the Eminems of the world were doing.
Nas.
So if we and the Nas, so you know what, we're gonna make the new standard here.
Yeah.
And this way, everybody, all of us, we could qualify, because if it's this, I'm never gonna achieve that. The same way when it comes to certain levels of journalism, if I can just say anything, whether it's true, not true, lies, I can make up and I'm going to still get traction, then I'm going to be good. Because if I have to stand up to these standards where I have to make sure that it's verified, I have to make sure that I have the receipts and I can back it up, I really can't fit in with the rest of those crew.
But who's the gatekeeper of the standard now?
There are no
Nobody.
gatekeepers.
The fans.
No, there are no
No, I'm telling you,
gatekeepers.
the fans.
Everybody,
no,
everybody's doing what they
they're-
want. Anybody with a phone is a gatekeeper.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is,
Anybody with internet access is a gatekeeper.
I'm saying who's the gatekeeper of the code of the standard
Who's
that
the morality police? Who?
None.
There is
We're-
nobody.
I'm trying to tell you,
We're
it's the
outnumbered.
fan. If you entertain somebody, no matter how dumb or fucked up you're doing something, people are going to ride with it. But they're only going to ride with it for a certain amount of time, and people aren't understanding that point. There's only a certain window that you're going to be able to get this fuck shit off. Now, you can make us laugh with all the bullshit you're doing. You can do all the boot gang, whatever. But after a while, we're going to be on to the next thing. And now you're out here still looking like an idiot in your real life.
But that's why I look at the longevity of your career and being able to have gone through some of the trials you've gone through, go away for a long time that some people
long-ass
nowadays
time.
couldn't. You can't.
That was a lifetime in
Like
entertainment years.
people with Instagram now, you go away for 30 days, we forgot about you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So I look at like somebody like you or even Fat Joe, who we had up here, who just exudes like an energy that you don't get really anymore. How do you feel like living in this era now where
It's weird. I feel like I tell people all the time, I'm like, this is Revenge of the Nerds. Like, this is where the people who normally are not the popular people, they're taking over. It was a time where you had to be an artist, you had to be someone who had a name of stature before you could say something, before you could even be taken seriously. Now anybody who has access to the internet, to a pod, to anything, they could DM something and put it out there and it can go anywhere. I've seen instances where A-list celebrities get accused of whatever it may be by a random schmandom in the club, and everyone's like, well, she said he did this and this. He needs to respond. If he doesn't respond, and I'm sitting here like, say for instance, let me think of something, like a Drake.
Oh yeah.
Remember what I think it was Drake, and some girl had just came out and she was like, either he had a kid by me or he propositioned me wrong. It was something that she had said, and everyone was like, well, he's not responding, he needs to respond. Why? Who is this chick? Where'd she come from? But it was a point where you could not just, no one cared. Or if your father or if your cousin or something like, oh, we spoke to so-and-so's sister, and they said, nobody wants to talk to Remy, my sister. Now, you have to be careful what you say, because there are people that want to talk to your family members, that wants to talk to the drunk uncle, that want to talk to the crackhead aunt and feel like they got some valid information, inside scoop. So I feel like the level that is so low for people to just get in, whether it's with music, whether it's with journalism, whether it's with even people are creating movies on their phones. You don't need budgets for anything. It doesn't take anything.
Well,
to
there's
create.
no privacy for sure.
You don't. That as well. I feel that's a problem. I really feel like they need to make some type of law. I think when I'm walking and I see someone doing this to me, I feel harassed. I feel it's an invasion of my privacy.
I think that too, though.
And if you smack them, you're going to jail, and you gave somebody Hollywood Unlocked
you
a
can't
big
take
story.
their phone. They're going to say you robbed them if you take their phone, but they can put their phone all in your face.
I'll give you an example. A$AP Rocky in Sweden. I looked at that. I mean, he took his time. He kept begging the people to leave him alone.
Yeah.
And finally, you keep poking the bear, somebody gonna whoop your ass where we come from.
But
we know that
somebody shouldn't be him, though.
But why? Because you're filming me, though.
Because you got security. You don't touch nobody.
Okay, but that.
I mean, I'm not on the other guy's side.
If my security beats you up, I'm still held accountable.
Yeah.
Word? That works like that?
Yes, absolutely.
I can't have my security. If that's the case, I'd have my security beat people up left and right. Are you kidding? I got a list of people I want to get punched in the face.
So, no, that brings me back to, whenever people say, this is the life that you chose as a celebrity, having a talent and then, getting in front of the public eye, you have to take what is given to you, even that level of harassment that Rocky felt. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
Yeah. It's like...
They chased his ass down.
They did. And so I really thought that was really unfair what happened to him.
Absolutely.
He was trying his best.
I thought he'd be fined at anything. I thought they were just going to fine him for fighting in public because, they don't do that over there. But when I see he got locked up, I'm like, oh, okay.
But that only happened because of who he was. If he was regular guy, if a regular person, John Smith.
not black.
John Smith. John Smith doesn't sound like someone that's black. John Smith is walking down the street, and I take my black ass with my phone, and I'm doing this to him, walking down the block. Yo, what's up, John? What's good? Get on my snap real quick. What's going on? Yo, come here, because they touch you. Come here.
Do they touch you?
What? If you you know how many times I'd be like, please don't touch me. Please. I'm still reforming. Don't touch me. Please, God, don't touch me. But they grab you.
Is it because they just aren't even thinking?
No, it's because they feel they own a piece of you.
Yeah, they feel like you're public property.
Public property.
Yeah.
I've had someone, literally, I'm taking a picture with them. I gave them, you want to take a picture? Sure, we're going to take a picture. I'm not in a place where I'm supposed to be taking pictures, but I'm going to take a picture with you. While I'm taking a picture, I happen to see somebody that I know walking by. I'm like, oh my God. And I call out to them, like, yo, don't go anywhere. I'm going to take this picture real quick. I want to talk to you about something. I kid you not. The girl was like, excuse me, miss. I was like, come on, we taking this picture.
I tried it.
Remy, you lying.
Tried it.
Yo, I got hot. Because I took anger management. So I've seen all my anger cues. I started sweating. My nostrils was flaring. My hands was clenching. My eyes got low. I'm like, this is over. She was like, no, I'm trying to take a picture. Like, you're talking to someone. Bitch.
But
no, real life question. Do you have women feel on you and try and grab you?
Oh, I've had that too. Like celebrities. Well,
some women feel like it's okay
not
to
necessarily
do that.
because they throw that word around too.
Yeah.
Celebrities.
That's what I was
But-
just saying before you got in here.
That word is like
Public figures that people would probably
popular
know.
people that are a little bit more
Recognizable.
famous, recognizable.
Recognizable. That's
Like
a
I've
good
had
term.
them like you walk by and they smack your ass like, "Hey, girl, look at you."
That's not okay.
First of all, I don't even like girls as friends. Seriously, most of my friends are guys, and I don't really get to see them as much as I used to since I've got married. Not that my husband's insecure; he doesn't mind. I just know it just looks weird if they keep seeing me all the time hanging out with these guys. But I don't even like girls as friends, so I just feel like. Especially in the era that we're in, and I know a lot of these girls, they like guys, they like girls, they like who knows, they might be even into bestiality. You never know what these people are into now.
Yeah, for real.
So I don't like that. Don't smack my ass. Don't
Grab
brush
your
on my titties.
titties,
Don't try to I don't even like real kisses.
Yeah.
Like I've had people.
Fans?
No, people that you encounter or whatever. Like you're supposed to fake kiss. You put your cheek next to my cheek and you make the kiss sound. You don't even
And then
really
you got to
touch.
do the other side
Like,
too. I don't like
You
that
just
either.
like, that's it. If you want to drag it, go. Fine. I've had people act like, did you just put your lips on my face?
Wait, was it Sanaa?
You got herpes. Like I'm dead now. I gotta.
Wait, was it Sanaa Lathan?
No, it wasn't Sanaa.
Okay.
She
No,
was
'cause she
just
did
lips.
Beyonce. She ain't heard from her
She
since.
just lips. Wow. I don't understand. Like, what will possess you to put your lips on somebody?
Wait, so I have a question. So I apologize if any of these questions are dated because I'm a fan and I have never interviewed you. When you went to prison, were you ever afraid?
Yes.
You were?
Yes, I was. And it wasn't that I was afraid of going to prison. I was afraid of losing my career. That's one. I knew I had.
Were you really afraid of that?
Yeah, I was facing 8 years. I was 26 years old. I'm like, I'm going to come home and it's over. This is the entertainment industries. And they gave me 8 years. I'm not going to be able to do anything for 8 years. I was afraid of that. I was afraid of what was going to happen with my son. He was 7 years old. And when I came home, it was a week before he turned 14. So I was afraid of that. I was afraid of what was going to happen with my husband. We had literally just got married. And I'm going away for 8 years. Is this even going to make it? And then there's the aspect of what we think prison is, how we see it on TV. Like, first of all, I'm not giving nobody my cornbread. I'm not being nobody's girlfriend. I'm not with none of that. Like, so I'm already got it in my mind, like, I promise you. But then there's the fear that if you do something while you're in prison, you get an extra 7 years. Like, the minimum is 7 years for a new charge in jail. So I'm like, I always said in my head, like, if I ever go to jail, I'm probably never going to come home because I'm just not going to let somebody just violate me. So I had a lot of fears.
Were people trying you because you were really wild?
It's a two-part thing. When I first got there, people were really, really nice to me because I was Remy Ma, and they probably thought I was a really nice person. And then they realized, like, she's a real bitch. And you know what it was? It's kind of my fault because it's kind of like what Melissa said. People feel entitled. People feel like they own you, like you're a public figure. But I'm in prison.
Yeah.
What
All
do you
that shit
mean?
goes
Can
out
I
the
get on the
window.
phone with your daughter? I don't care about your daughter. I'm in jail. No, I'm not getting on the phone with your daughter. So like people was like angry, like oh she's stuck up. She thinks she's all that. No, I think I'm an inmate. I think I have on state
Prison
greens.
blues, yeah.
Like what are you talking about? Like I'm missing my family. I'm going through something right now. Like I don't want to get on. This is not that we're not backstage at the Barclays Center or at the Staples or wherever place that you would catch me to where I would be able to do this type of interaction that you want to do right now. And I was angry. I was angry as hell.
Did you have faith in God going in?
No, I didn't. I want to know the truth. I was pissed at God. I was pissed. I was pissed. Like, I didn't even go to church for the whole first couple of years that I went there. Like, I had met friends that are still my friends to this day. And every Sunday, he's like, yo, let's go to church. I'm like, fuck out of here. No, I'm not going to church. I'm not going. Because I didn't understand. Like, regardless of what, I've never even talked about my situation. I was just always like, well, I did the time. It doesn't even matter. Because in this this country, if you went to jail and they convicted you, you was guilty. I don't want to explain what really happened. Nobody never asked me what really happened.
No one's ever asked you what really happened?
Ever?
No, they just always assume, well, they said this is what happened and this is what must have happened.
But the reason why I asked is because I just wrote my first book and it's called God Must Have Forgot About Me. And I've learned through the whole journey of my life so far that, like, I was just confused about what life was, and I felt like nobody saw me. And it wasn't until recently, meeting Rihanna, that in all the things we could have talked about, she saw me for who I was and actually talked to me about real shit that it left me just lost.
Let me tell you something. My mother, my own mother, at one time I got into an argument since I've been home, and I was like, Ma, you never even asked me, like, yo, what happened that night? Like, you know me. People that don't know me and all they knew was walk around the metal detectors. I could see y'all thinking that I shot somebody.
That's really what happened.
Wendy said that here on our show.
Like, yeah,
As a fan,
I could see somebody.
I was like, damn, Remy with the shit.
People who know me, who actually know me, and that's one of the reasons why I went on Love and Hip Hop when I first came home, because people were scared to work with me. As much as people are quote unquote anticipating me to return, people was like, oh, well, she shot somebody, she was just in jail, like, we don't really want to work with her. So I had to go on this show because that was one of the only people that was trying to pay me decent money that I could actually get on my feet with and show people a different side of me so I could do other things like State of Culture, like get a new record deal, like everything that I've been doing, open a store, a clothing brand. Like, I've done so much since then. But I used to go home when I first came home and I used to cry to my husband all the time, like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I know me. I know when people are nervous. I know when people are scared and people are leery. So I used to be like, yo, I cannot even get people to, take me serious. He's like, well, babe, anybody who sits in the room with you and talk to you and they don't see your potential, like, they're crazy. And I was like, yeah, I get you, but I couldn't even get people to sit down in the room and talk to me.
Do you think it's because people just saw you as a headline?
People just saw me as this ghetto chick from the Bronx that shot her friend allegedly. Well, it wasn't even alleged because I was convicted, so there's no more alleged. That's what happened because that's what she went to jail for. They're not even saying, like, wait a minute, that's not her friend. She don't even know this person. Wait a minute.
And then back then, the media, nobody really knew any details. Like, that was
I never said anything, and it's to the point where, like, now I was like, you know what? One day I am gonna sit down.
So what happened?
I was about to say, I'm curious.
Well, I'm not gonna tell you guys, but
shit.
now I'm figuring out a way that I can make a check off of it.
Save it for real with Remy.
Yeah, or something that where it makes sense. Like, at this point, I feel like I'm past that part in my life, but it just bothered me that even my mother, my friends, my family, they never once was like, they just believed everything. But why do you think
they didn't ask?
Because everyone believes what the media says. If it's on the news, if it's in the newspaper, that must what happened.
Well, now if it's on Instagram, too.
Or if it's on Instagram, forget it.
That's it. That's fact.
I can speak as a fan that's seen it from the outside. At that time, and I was doing radio at that time, the media wasn't like what it is now, where you just figure, like, oh, they could be lying. Back then, you just thought everything that was on the media was true. Two, you come from that terror squad kind of family. So when you hear a story like that, even though if you really think about it, it doesn't make sense, it seemed like in the lines of being a gangster. Like, if you were heard, and I know Fat Joe probably wouldn't do nothing like that, but if you were heard Fat Joe, same story with him, no one would question, like, yo, somebody probably stepped to Joe wrong. So I feel like you being in that camp and you being the first lady of that camp too, and your image kind of all played into it where nobody really wanted to hear the truth. Like, they looked at it like, yeah, that was raw.
But at the same time, I beat chicks up my whole life. My entire life, I've been a fighter my whole life. Like, when we're talking about somebody, I'm 5'9.5".
You with the hand.
167 pounds.
Well, you small now, but you was a thick girl.
No, I wasn't. Go back.
You weren't?
Google. I was not. No, that's another misconception. I've never been big my whole life. I can name 2 times in my life when I was big. When I had my son, when I was a teenager, when I had just did Annie Up. I literally, when I shot the Annie Up video, I had just had my son 2 weeks before that. So that then, and another time, when I came home from prison, I was 165 pounds. About a year after that, in 2015, when I got pregnant and I lost my child, I was pregnant again, is when I gained weight. After that, I've been anywhere between 160 and 167 my whole life. But I don't give a fuck. I'm not explaining that to these people out here. Like, no, that's not the case. I've always, look at my pictures. Go Google it, because information is free. Yeah. But people don't get
Nobody
it.
has time to research.
You think if you put out a headline like right now, Remy Ma talks about what really happened when she got locked up. No one's gonna read the story. She says she was actually shot at. Even though that's not what happened, but
Yeah.
no one's gonna go and read the story and watch it.
Nobody
Every
cares about
blog
the
is gonna
cleanup.
pick up. Remy said she was really shot, and that's it. It's so
It's sound bites. People
Yeah.
don't read.
no
the
one
story
doesn't
anyway.
read.
No one
Nobody.
does- yeah,
but I
no
do
research.
when we're doing State of the Culture, I make sure whatever the story is. Okay, well, Dave Chappelle said this on his show, and everyone's clowning him for it. I gotta wait. Yeah, we're gonna go on late. I need to watch the whole show.
Well, I
Yeah.
thought the ABC people was hilarious.
Like, but
the
this-
alphabet people.
Yeah, I need to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, for sure. To
You
have an
can't just
opinion.
you
To
can't
have
just
a
tell me one
fully
piece of
informed
a joke. I
opinion.
need to watch the whole thing. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I know we're supposed to start shooting in 15 minutes. I gotta watch the whole thing, or we're not talking about that topic. That's just it.
One thing I wanted to ask you about, your advocacy to end the private prison system and prison reform. I read the story where you talked about the women who were basically abandoned by their families in prison. Like, can you let us know some of the things that you saw? Like, people really like to want to feel things. So what's some of the most heartbreaking things that you saw?
That's one of the things that I am happy about in this generation that we're in, the concern for people in prison. Because when I first went to prison, it wasn't like that.
But wait, hold on. Let me stop you just right now and continue. But I want to say, because you're like, oh, I keep talking about the Black love story, like my husband and stuff. That's why people always want to bring it up, because he waited for you, like he loves your dirty draws, and it is so incredible to see a Black man just in love with his queen. It gives a lot of women hope. So that's the reason why a lot of people do want to talk
and I wanted
about
to add to that and say I tell you this every time I see you and I talk about you all, not to go too much into it, but when you look at the Huxtables, there's one image of what a Black family looks like, but in the streets where we all have come from,
You don't see too many hugs.
you don't see that.
That's not really the case. Well, what it is that my husband, I don't know how he's just a real man. Like, he's a real dude, and it's crazy because it took years of us being married before I can say I 100% believed that this is what it is and he's not going nowhere. Like, it took convincing, because I grew up the same way most women of color. Men ain't shit. He gonna leave you. He gonna dog you. He gonna I just was like, bro, I like you already. You don't have to lie. Like, why are you saying all that? Like, it's extra for no reason. Like, I already gave it to you. You're gonna get some more later. Stop. But it depends. And we talked about this when I was talking to Eric Bellinger and his wife Lamaya, that men who grow up in homes where they had married parents. It's a little bit different because her husband, he grew up in a house with a mother and a father that were married. My husband grew up in a home where his mother and his father were married. And a lot of my friends and people that I've met throughout the years, that the men are like, I'm going to get married and I'm going to have a wife and I'm going to make sure she's good. They come from homes like that.
Yeah.
And I say, when I went to prison, a lot of women didn't have husbands. A lot of them were single moms. Most of them had children. Their children were being taken care of by either their mothers, who were elderly and or in the system. And your friends are out living their lives, doing whatever they're doing, having their relationships or partying or whatever. And when you think about it, after a period of time, your friends be gone. Your mom is older, so she really can't come, and she's watching your kids, so she can't really come up there and sit with you on visits all day. And your man or your boyfriend is on to the next. So these women would literally just be in prison, abandoned. I knew women who lived 45 minutes tops away from the prison and hadn't seen their children in 8 years because the mom didn't have a car, didn't have the means to bring the kids to see them. And it was just too much. Like, look, do you want me to struggle to come up there and see you and spend the money on that, or spend the money to get your kids some new shoes? And my husband used to come up there. It's a maximum prison. Every day, everybody had a visit. It would be like this. A prison with 1,000 women, it'd probably be about this many people on the visiting floor every day. And
That's the part that
Did it make
6-7
you value your husband more?
It made me. I'm not going to say, I don't even think I thought of it as valuing my husband more. And that's just me being honest. It made me appreciate my blessings and realize how blessed I was, because I could have easily been one of those girls. It also made me angry at other people that I thought should have been there for me.
Yeah.
People that was my so-called best friends and that I grew up with and that I hadn't seen, and people that were my family members that they felt like, he was there out. Well, Pap is up there every day. She good. Y'all don't know him. Y'all just met him. I barely know him. We're still getting to know each other. He could wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, this girl over here, she sucks it better. Leave her up there in that jail. I see her in 5-6 years from now when she come home. So it was just more like, you know what? And when I came home, I didn't deal with a lot of people. I wasn't angry. Thank God that I was there. If I would have came home in a year or two, I probably would have been angry on a rampage. Like, when I catch you, I'm beating you up.
But by that time, were you able to compartmentalize everybody?
I came home, I didn't want to come home angry.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be mad at nobody. So I just forgave everybody, but I'm not dealing with you. You're not going to be at my wedding. You're not coming to my housewarming. I don't want to see you at my baby shower because I didn't see you when I had my straight backs and I was wearing state greens and I was cold on the damn visiting floor. So I don't want to see you now when I'm celebrating, when I'm happy.
What were some of the things that you actually did to, as a form of therapy to grow from, I'm here for 8 years.
Cry.
Just crying.
Let it out.
I cried a lot.
Okay.
I'm not a crier. I don't even know how to act when other people cry around me.
Me too.
Like, I'm
Yeah,
serious.
I'm weird like
Don't
that.
cry
I get
around
real
me. It makes
bad.
me nervous. I'd be like, oh my
Like, do I
God.
hug you?
Joe does that a lot. Joe Buddy, I'm like, he just buzz. I'm like, listen,
He cries?
these are the topics.
Joe does not cry.
Yes, he cries.
On the
These
show?
these are the topics.
cries.
Do you
He
think
get
any of
emotional.
these are gonna
He
make you
Virgo.
cry? Let me know now so I can prepare me. Like, I'm not good with that, but I cried a lot, and I was angry a lot. Like, I cry more so when I'm angry. I don't cry when I'm sad. Like, if I'm sad, I'm just like,
That
that's
angry
it.
cry, you about
When
to
I'm
get fucked
angry,
up.
just I'll be wanting, and I can't do anything. I felt powerless, but that's how I got through it. I was angry, I was crying, and I just woke up every day. People like, yo, you did that. I ain't gonna lie, you knocked that out. No, I did it. First of all, I'm not no weak chick, so I wasn't killing myself, or
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna be one of those people that was on a bunch of medications and walking around like a zombie because I wanted to come out and still be myself. But I just woke up every day, and the one thing, time doesn't stop. I would go to bed, and next thing you know, it was 2009, then it was 2010, then it was 2011, 12, 13. Before I knew it was 2014. I went in
couldn't
March
imagine.
2008, and when I came home, it was August 2014.
Damn.
Wow.
On a parenting tip, how I came up, I seen my uncle or my cousin, they go away and they had kids. You know what I'm saying? I see what that looks like when they come back home and how they try to reintegrate into the family structure. What was it like for you when you came home, having a son that was that old? And I know you have other children as well. Like, what is that feeling and how do you get back into that family, I guess, routine? Was it hard? What was that experience like?
But I only have one, besides my daughter, I only have one biological. I only
Oh, okay,
have a
yeah,
son.
the other's Paps. Okay, I'm sorry.
My other children are my stepchildren. But with my son, I was all he knew. He lived with me. I was a single mom. He lived with me. His whole life he was with me. And when I went away, he kind of got bounced around a lot because I felt bad. So whatever he told me he wanted to do, I let him do it. I want to go live with my dad now. All right, he go live with his dad for about a school year. That didn't work. I don't want to be here no more. I want to go back to grandma's house. All right, he go live with my grandmother. I don't want to be here. I want to stay with Pat. So trying to parent, but be sensitive to his, because he was going through something. His mom was in prison. The only person that he knew was gone, and it fucked everything up. Prison, it doesn't just affect the person that they send to jail.
Yeah.
It affects anybody that they take care of. It affects anybody that they love and that love them. And when I left, he was a 7-year-old boy. He was a kid. And when I came home, he was a teenager. 2 different people. 2 different people. And I wasn't the same mom, and he wasn't the same son. And we clashed constantly. Because
He had resentment.
whenever he get mad, you left me. This is why this is like that. This is your fault. I hate you. I don't want to live here. I want to go live with grandma. Like, that's hurtful when
Really hurtful.
you are in a 6x6 cell for 7 years and all you want to do is get home to your kid. And you come home and your kid is like,
But he don't
I
understand
don't want to be here.
Yeah.
And I know you're saying it because you're angry, and I know you're saying it because you're mad, but a little bit is the truth. A little bit it's true because all he knows is mommy that bought him toys and took him shopping. But I can't be that mommy no more because you're 14 now. So you can't just come in when you want to. You can't just talk how you want to talk. You can't just do whatever you want. So it was a little bit more disciplined. He didn't understand that. Also, on top of all of that, it's not just me and you anymore. Now it's this man in our house that you're giving all this attention to because this is my husband. I've never lived with my husband ever in life. This is our first time living together. I'm home. He's been there. So it's like,
so what's your
now my
relationship now?
stepkids is there. Like now,
Because let
it's
me say something.